Greetings! I am Brad Hessel and I am running for North Carolina State Senate in District 18. So, I was a history major in college, and while it was directly relevant only to my very first job working for an historical game publishing company, the research and analytical skills I learned have served me well ever since. One of my favorite historical related truisms is the novelist George Santayana's famous quote, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." Humans, of course, learn best from making mistakes. Knowing what actions are likely to fail so you can avoid repeating them is a tried and true path to eventual success. About 100 years ago, we citizens of the USA embarked on a bold and principled experiment when we decided to ban the manufacture, distribution, and sale of alcoholic beverages. It was well known that alcohol was addictive and encouraged serious antisocial behavior, and there was a significant religious component to the temperance movement. But while there were notable positive effects, including a decline in absenteeism and improved educational performance, probably due to healthier prenatal conditions with fewer pregnant women imbibing, overall, prohibition was a disastrous failure. There were negative effects on our economy, including huge losses for the tourist and entertainment industries. Government not only had to cope with the costs of enforcement, but lost an estimated $11 billion in tax revenues during the 14 years Prohibition was in force. And there were significant unintended social consequences, including a mega boost to organized crime, and a material increase in general disrespect for authority as millions of drinkers became habitual scofflaws. Well, it seems we are poor students of our own history. While alcohol, which is physically and psychologically addictive, cancer-causing, potentially life-threatening if you overdose on it, responsible for a host of antisocial behaviors, drunk driving, spousal abuse, date rape, absenteeism. While alcohol is legal, now we ban cannabis. Marijuana is not physically addictive, not cancer-causing, impossible to overdose on, and much less of a problem with regard to antisocial behavior. Plus, there are material medical benefits to cannabinoids. They can be used to treat chronic pain, reduce nausea during chemo, and for anorexia, arthritis, migraines, glaucoma. If you want to talk crime, what's criminal is that we are sending folks overseas to bleed and die for us, and when they come back home to North Carolina with chronic physical and psychological damage, all we can offer them are opioids, which are physically addictive and screw up your body chemistry. I'm not saying that opioids don't have a role in short-term pain management, but for chronic conditions, CBDs are almost invariably a better medical option. Except for being illegal here, that is. Not to mention, so long as cannabis remains illegal, we are essentially transferring billions in wealth to organized criminals south of the border, with the unintended consequence of destabilizing countries where the drugs are produced, which, of course, contributes materially to the flow of refugees and undocumented immigrants. Once we legalize marijuana, that money flows to law-abiding local producers and distributors. And millions of those dollars are collected by government as tax revenue, which can be used to support education, social services, and so on here in North Carolina, instead of bribing Central and South American politicians and paying for professional assassins. And speaking of ill-spent money, man, you can't make this stuff up. Just yesterday, it was revealed that the Alcohol Beverage Control Commission has been misspending over $1 million of our taxes each year for the past 13 years. The government monopoly on the sale of alcohol is wasteful, inefficient, and does not serve consumers well. This function should be left to private businesses, as it is in most other states in the USA. Let's legalize cannabis and ban ABC stores. I'm Brad Hessel, candidate for the North Carolina Senate in District 18, and I approve this message.